Assalamu alaikum. My name is Mufti Menk, and I welcome you to this peaceful sanctuary of reflection and faith. Here, we remind ourselves that Allah never abandons us, even in our darkest nights. We learn that hardships are not punishments, but divine doorways to strength and purification. Together, we discover how anxiety turns into peace through sincere dua, and how patience unlocks the doors of Allah's mercy and help. We remind our hearts that faith transforms fear into strength, and that healing is already on its way, written by the mercy of Allah long before we even felt the pain. This channel is a place of light, hope, and guidance. So I invite you to like, subscribe, and join this journey of remembrance and healing, so that no heart feels alone in its struggle, and no soul forgets that Allah is near. Allah never abandons you. Even when you feel like the world has turned its back, even when you sit alone with your thoughts and the silence feels heavier than the words you cannot say, He is closer to you than your very breath. In the stillness of the night, when your tears fall quietly onto your pillow, when you hide your pain from the world because you believe no one would understand, Allah already knows. He sees what you carry inside. He hears the du'as that never reach your lips but echo in your heart. He knows the fears you do not speak, the storms raging within you, and the burdens that weigh your soul down, and He is there, watching over you with a mercy that never runs out. Many times when hardship surrounds us, we begin to believe we are forgotten. We look at others and wonder why their lives seem easier, why their paths look smoother, and we feel left behind. But Allah never forgets. He never overlooks a single tear, a single sigh, or a single moment of pain. The very struggle you are facing is written in His perfect knowledge. The heaviness in your chest, the sleepless nights, the unanswered questions, every part of it is seen by the one who is Al-Latif, the most gentle. His nearness is not like the nearness of people who come and go. It is a constant, unshakable nearness that surrounds you even when you are drowning in loneliness. There are moments in life when no one understands you. You try to explain, but words fall short. You smile in front of people while bleeding inside. You laugh while your heart trembles, and yet Allah understands you without a single word. He knows the language of your silence. He knows the cry that never leaves your chest. He knows the exhaustion of your soul. He knows when you are too tired to pray, and yet even then, He is watching you with love, waiting for you to turn to Him again. That is the mercy of Allah. Unlike the world, which demands perfection from you, Allah accepts your brokenness. Unlike people, who may walk away when you fall, Allah draws closer to you in your weakness. Do not confuse the silence of your du'as with the absence of Allah. Sometimes when you call upon Him, the answer is not immediate. Sometimes when you beg Him, the delay feels unbearable, but His delay is never neglect. His silence is not abandonment. Every unanswered dua is being stored, every prayer is being heard, every tear is being counted. The answer will come not in your timing, but in His perfect timing. And when it comes, you will look back and realize that He never left you, not for a moment. His wisdom was guiding you, even through the dark. The Quran reminds us again and again that Allah is with the patient, that He is with those who put their trust in Him, that He is nearer to us than our jugular vein. When you walk in the valley of fear, He walks with you. When you carry the weight of sorrow, He carries it with you. When you believe you are standing alone, He is standing right beside you. The Prophet told us that Allah is more merciful to His servant than a mother to her child. If a mother can never abandon her baby, how then could Allah, whose mercy is infinite, ever abandon you? He never will. So when the nights are long and your heart is restless, remember that Allah has written down every single hardship you are facing. None of it is wasted, none of it is unseen, and none of it will go unrewarded. Even the smallest patience you show, even the slightest trust you place in Him, is known to Him. He promises that with hardship comes ease. He promises that after difficulty comes relief. He promises that your pain is never meaningless, and Allah never breaks His promises. You may feel like you are holding on by a thread, but remember that the one who holds the heavens and the earth without pillar is the same one holding you. You may feel like you cannot take another step, but the one who gave you legs to walk and a heart to endure is the same one who will guide you through. You may feel forgotten by people, but you are never forgotten by Allah. When you whisper in sujud, when you breathe out His name, when you let your tears fall in prayer, the angels record it all, and your Lord responds with mercy you cannot imagine. Never let despair convince you that you are abandoned. Shaitan wants you to believe that Allah has left you, but every test you face, every moment you endure, is proof that Allah still believes in you. He still gives you life each morning. He still lets your heart beat. He still opens the doors of repentance. He still allows you to call on Him. This alone is proof that He has not abandoned you, for the moment He abandons someone is the moment they are no longer able to seek Him. And here you are, listening, remembering, yearning. That is a sign that He is with you. So lift your head, wipe your tears, and know this truth deeply. Allah never abandons you, not in the darkness of your sorrow, not in the silence of your dar, not in the weight of your anxiety. He is with you now, closer than you can comprehend, more merciful than you can imagine, and more loving than your heart can hold. He has always been with you, and He always will be. Hardships are not punishments. Many times, when calamity strikes, when illness weakens the body, when wealth decreases, or when loved ones turn away, the first thought that comes to the mind is, why me? Have I been abandoned? Is this a sign of Allah's anger? But Allah reminds us that He is our Rahman, the most merciful, and our Rahim, the especially merciful. If His mercy encompasses all things, how can every hardship be a punishment? No, my beloved brothers and sisters, the trials you face are not curses. They are divine invitations to grow, to reflect, and to purify the soul. When you walk through difficulty, Allah is not pushing you away. He is pulling you closer. Think about the prophets, those whom Allah loved most. Did they live lives free from hardship? No, they lived through challenges greater than ours. Yet every challenge was a pathway to higher ranks with Allah. The Prophet Yab endured years of illness, stripped of health, wealth, and even his family, yet he remained patient, never doubting the mercy of his Lord. Was his suffering a punishment? Certainly not. It was a purification, a test of faith, and a means for him to become a symbol of patience for all who came after. Your pain is not random. It is not without wisdom. When you are tested, Allah is shaping you into someone stronger and more resilient. He is softening your heart, reminding you of your dependence on Him, teaching you lessons the world could never teach you in ease. Hardship scrapes away arrogance. It breaks down the illusion of self-sufficiency, and it reminds the heart that we are nothing without Allah. In the moments of weakness, we learn where true strength lies in surrendering to Him, in turning back to Him, in trusting His plan even when we cannot understand it. Every difficulty carries within it hidden gifts. The pain you feel is cleansing your sins, erasing your mistakes, and elevating your rank. The Prophet told us that not even a thorn that pricks a believer goes unrewarded. How then about the deep sorrows, the sleepless nights, the heavy burdens you endure? They are all written as purification, as mercy, as steps toward forgiveness and closeness to Allah. When hardship comes, see it not as punishment, but as a gentle reminder that Allah has chosen you for growth. Sometimes you may think, but I cannot handle this. It is too much for me. Yet Allah has promised that He does not burden a soul with more than it can bear. If it has reached you, then within you lies the strength, by His will, to endure it. And when you endure it with patience, you are not just surviving the hardship, you are rising through it. Patience in hardship is not passive, it is an active trust in Allah. It is saying, Ya Allah, I do not understand, but I trust you. I am hurting, but I know you are with me. I am weak, but I know you are my strength. Look at the storms of life as purification. Sometimes Allah allows hardship to detach your heart from this world. If everything were perfect, you might never long for Jannah. If every desire were fulfilled here, you might forget the eternal life awaiting you. Hardship wakes you up, it humbles you, it purifies your priorities. It whispers to your heart, this life is temporary, do not get too comfortable. Every struggle becomes a reminder that Jannah is worth striving for, and that no pain in this world is wasted in the sight of Allah. Your struggles can also be a protection. Sometimes what you call a hardship is actually saving you from something worse. The loss of wealth might protect your deen. The delay of a dream might save you from harm. The closing of one door may be Allah's way of guiding you to a better one. You see only a fragment of your story, but Allah sees the whole. What you call hardship may be the very thing that shields you from a calamity greater than you can imagine. It is in hardship that faith deepens. When everything is easy, we forget, but when everything is shaken, we remember who truly holds us together. That remembrance brings light into the darkness of trial. That remembrance transforms hardship into an opportunity for closeness to Allah. For every tear you shed in prayer, for every moment you bite your tongue in patience, for every breath where you choose trust over despair, these are seeds of Jannah being planted for you. Do not let the whisper of despair deceive you. Hardship is not proof of Allah's anger. It is proof that He wants to cleanse you, strengthen you, and draw you nearer. Remember, Allah tests the ones He loves most. The greater the hardship, the greater the opportunity for growth. The Prophet said, when Allah loves a servant, He tests him. So if you are going through a storm, know that it is not a curse. It is a sign of His love, a sign that He has not forgotten you, a sign that He is shaping you for something greater. And when the trial finally lifts, when relief finally comes, you will look back and see how it changed you. You will realize that you are not the same person you were before. You will be softer, humbler, stronger, and closer to Allah. And you will whisper to yourself, it was never a punishment. Anxiety is a weight that presses down on the soul, an invisible burden that no one else can see but you feel in every heartbeat. It keeps you awake at night, it steals your appetite, it drowns your thoughts in fear of what may come. You try to silence it, you try to push it away, but it lingers. And yet, Allah has given you a door to release all of it, a door that no one can close, a door that leads straight to Him. When your heart feels heavy, fall into sujood and pour your fears before Allah. He is not distant, He is not unreachable. Every word, every sigh, every tear is heard by Him. He loves when you call on Him, even in your weakness, especially in your weakness. Dar is not just asking, it is unburdening. It is taking what is too heavy for you and placing it in the hands of the one who can carry it with ease. When you say, Ya Allah, I am tired, I am scared, I am lost, you are not just speaking, you are surrendering, you are saying, I cannot do this on my own, but I know you can help me. That surrender is where peace begins, because the moment you hand over your fear to Allah, the moment you release control and trust His wisdom, your anxiety begins to soften. The storm inside quiets, not because your problems disappear immediately, but because your heart remembers who is in charge. How many times have we tried to fight our battles alone? We carry our worries in silence, convincing ourselves that no one understands, that no one can help. And in that silence, anxiety grows heavier. But the moment you lift your hands in dua, the moment your forehead touches the ground in sujud, you are no longer alone. You are standing with the one who is Al-Mujib, the one who responds to the caller. The caller, when he calls upon him, he has promised to answer, and Allah never breaks his promises. Sometimes his answer comes quickly, like a sudden relief that eases your chest. Other times it comes slowly, in ways you do not yet see. But whether immediate or delayed, every dua is answered, giving you what you asked by replacing it with something better, or by saving you from something harmful. This certainty transforms anxiety into trust. You no longer worry about what tomorrow brings, because you know the one who controls tomorrow has already heard your plea today. When you make dua, do not worry about the eloquence of your words. Allah does not need poetry from your tongue. He wants sincerity from your heart. Even if all you can say is, Ya Allah, help me. Even if all you can do is let your tears speak in sujud, that is enough. The angels record it, your Lord hears it, and His mercy surrounds you. The Prophet told us that dua is the essence of worship. Why? Because in dua, you admit your weakness and recognize Allah's greatness. In dua, you humble yourself, and in that humility lies strength. Anxiety thrives when we try to control what is beyond our reach. Dua teaches us to let go. It reminds us that we are not meant to carry everything. It shifts the burden from your fragile shoulders to the infinite mercy of Allah. That is why after a sincere dua, your heart feels lighter even if your situation hasn't changed yet, because the act of calling upon Allah is itself a relief. It is faith in action. Think of the Prophet Yunus in the belly of the whale, trapped in darkness upon darkness, darkness of the night, darkness of the ocean, darkness of despair. He had no way out, no one to turn to, no light to guide him. Yet in that moment of suffocating anxiety, he turned to Allah with the simple words, La ilaha illa anta subhanaka inni kuntu minaz zalimin. And Allah responded, saving him from a place no one else could save him from. That is the power of dua. It can break through the darkest prisons. It can reach where no human hand can reach. It can transform hopelessness into light. Your anxiety may whisper to you that nothing will change, that your prayers are unanswered, that you are forgotten. But remember this, every time you lift your hands, every time your forehead touches the ground, every time your heart aches and you turn to Allah, He is listening. His silence is not rejection. His delay is not neglect. His wisdom is greater than your understanding. Sometimes what you are asking for is not good for you right now, but your dua is never wasted. It becomes protection. It becomes mercy. It becomes stored reward, waiting for you in ways you cannot imagine. Anxiety wants to isolate you, to make you believe you are powerless. Dua reminds you that you are never powerless. The world may overwhelm you, but you have a direct line to the Creator of the heavens and the earth. What problem can be too great when you place it in His hands? What burden can be too heavy when you ask Al-Qawi, the All-Powerful, to carry it for you? So when your chest feels tight, when your thoughts spiral, when your heart races with fear, pause. Wash yourself, stand before Allah, and let your soul pour out everything. Tell Him your worries, tell Him your secrets, tell Him the things you cannot tell another soul. He already knows, but He loves when you ask. And with every word, every tear, every whisper, you will feel the chains of anxiety loosening, replaced with a quiet trust, a serenity that no worldly solution can give you. Do not underestimate the power of even the simplest dua. Sometimes one sincere prayer made in the depth of the night can change the course of your life. Sometimes one tear shed in sujud can erase years of pain. Sometimes one whispered plea, Ya Allah, make it easy, can open doors you never imagined. This is not wishful thinking. It is the promise of the one who said, Call upon me, I will respond to you. Your anxiety does not define you. It is not the end of your story. It is a reminder that you are in need of your Lord, and in that need lies the doorway to peace. Keep making keep falling into sujud, keep pouring your heart before Allah. Even if your situation doesn't change immediately, you will change. Your heart will grow stronger, your faith deeper, your soul calmer. Anxiety turns to peace through dua, and hopelessness turns to light. Patience unlocks divine help. Relief does not come by rushing, nor by demanding immediate answers, but by trusting the one who holds time in his hands. Every test has an end, every trial has a limit, and every tear is followed by Allah's mercy. When life feels unbearable and you wonder how much longer you can endure, remember that patience is not just about waiting. It is about waiting with faith, waiting with hope, and waiting with certainty that Allah's help is near. The Quran reminds us, indeed, Allah is with the patient. Imagine what that means. The creator of the heavens and the earth, the one who knows every secret, who controls every outcome, who commands all that exists. He promises to be with those who are patient. So when you hold on a little longer, when you breathe through your pain, when you restrain your tongue from complaint and your heart from despair, Allah Himself is with you. And if He is with you, what more could you need? Patience is not weakness. It is strength hidden in surrender. It is the ability to carry pain without losing faith. It is the courage to keep praying even when the answer hasn't come yet. It is choosing to believe that Allah's wisdom is greater than your understanding. This is why patience unlocks doors that nothing else can. You may try to solve your problems with effort, with planning, with control, but until you surrender with patience, the heart cannot find peace. Think of Yaqub, who lost his beloved son Yusuf. His heart was broken, his eyes turned blind from grief, yet he said, "So patience is most fitting." He did not curse his fate, nor doubt Allah's plan. He chose patience, and years later, Allah reunited him with Yusuf in a way more beautiful than he could have imagined. That is the secret of patience. It stretches beyond the present moment into the unseen future where Allah's plan unfolds perfectly. How many times have you thought your test would never end, only to look back later and realize relief had always been on its way? The tears you shed were not in vain. The sleepless nights were not ignored. The loneliness was not forgotten. Every sigh, every prayer, every moment you endured was recorded by the angels and witnessed by the Lord of mercy. When relief comes, it is sweeter because of the patience that carried you to it. Patience is also a shield. It protects you from falling into despair, from saying words you will regret, from taking actions that harm your faith. Without patience, pain can drive you away from Allah. With patience, the same pain becomes a path back to Him. That is why patience is described as light. It guides you through the darkness of trial until you reach the dawn of relief. Never believe that patience means doing nothing. Patience means continuing to pray, continuing to strive, continuing to trust, but without demanding that everything happen in your timing. It is to work while trusting Allah to complete what you cannot. It is to wait while knowing He has already written your relief, and it is to endure while believing that no pain lasts forever. The Prophet said, "Know that victory comes with patience, relief comes with affliction, and ease comes with hardship." This is a divine promise. It means that the greater the test, the closer the relief. It means that patience is not just a virtue, it is the key to unlocking Allah's help. Even when you feel like you cannot carry on, each moment of patience is building your strength, polishing your soul, and inviting Allah's mercy into your life. Do not let your impatience convince you that Allah hath forgotten you. He is closer than ever when you are patient. He is watching, He is listening, He is preparing for you a relief that will make your eyes shine with gratitude. Your patience today will be your joy tomorrow. The tears you hold with trust will one day be replaced by tears of gratitude. The pain you carry now will become the story of how Allah raised you. So hold on. Do not rush the plan of the Most Wise. Your hardship has an end written already. Your relief has been decreed already. Every tear will be followed by mercy. Every test will be followed by ease. Trust Allah, remain patient, and know this with certainty. Patience always unlocks divine help. Faith turns fear into strength. When you trust Allah's plan, even the storms that once terrified you begin to feel lighter, because you know you are not walking through them alone. Fear is natural. It is a part of being human. The uncertainty of tomorrow, the weight of what could go wrong, the shadows of loss and pain, they all create fear. But when faith settles in the heart, fear no longer has the power to paralyze you. Faith does not erase the storm, but it anchors you within it. It whispers to you, nothing happens without the wisdom of Allah, and He never burdens a soul beyond what it can bear. Think of Ibrahim as he stood in front of the fire prepared by his people. Any human being in that moment would tremble, for the fire was real, its heat unbearable, its flames threatening to consume everything. Yet his heart was calm. Why? Because his faith in Allah was greater than the fire before him. He said, Hasbun, Allahu wa ni'mal wakil. Allah is sufficient for us, and He is the best disposer of affairs. And with those words of faith, the fire that could have destroyed him was commanded to become coolness and peace. This is the power of faith. It transforms fear into strength and weakness into resilience. Fear often grows when we imagine life without control, but the truth is, we never had control to begin with. It was always Allah. Faith reminds us of this truth. It reminds us that every event, every delay, every hardship, and every blessing comes from His perfect wisdom. So when fear rises, faith tells you, nothing happens except by Allah's decree, and Allah's decree is never unjust. That reminder strengthens you, because suddenly the unknown is no longer terrifying. It is part of Allah's plan, and His plan is always better than ours. When the Quran says, do not grieve, indeed Allah is with us, it is reminding us that faith is not just belief, it is companionship. It means that no matter how heavy the storm, Allah's presence is with you in it. And when the King of Kings is by your side, what storm can truly defeat you? The heart that trusts Allah is a heart that walks with courage even through fear. Many of us carry worries that drain our strength, worries about the future, about our loved ones, about failure, about loss. These fears eat away at our hearts until we feel paralyzed, but faith transforms these fears into opportunities. Instead of fearing the future, you place it in Allah's hands. Instead of fearing loss, you remember that everything belongs to Him, and He is the best guardian. Instead of fearing failure, you trust that even in failure lies wisdom and redirection. Suddenly, fear does not break you, it builds you. It becomes a tool through which you discover the strength of your faith. The Prophet told us, wondrous is the affair of the believer. If something good happens, he is grateful and it is good for him. If something bad happens, he is patient and it is good for him. Notice how faith turns both fear and hardship into strength. Nothing that happens to a believer is wasted, because faith reframes it all. Even pain becomes a source of growth. Even fear becomes a reason to draw closer to Allah. Sometimes you may feel overwhelmed thinking, I cannot handle this test. But remember, Allah Himself has promised, Allah does not burden a soul beyond what it can bear. If it has reached you, then you are capable, through Him, of carrying it. Faith is not denying the weight. It is believing that with Allah's help, the weight will not crush you. It is believing that every struggle carries within it seeds of strength you never knew you had. Fear can make you feel small, but faith reminds you of the greatness of the one you rely on. When your heart says, I am weak, your faith says, my Lord is strong. When your mind says, I cannot, your faith says, with Allah, everything is possible. Fear says, the storm will destroy me. Faith says, the storm will pass and Allah's mercy will remain. The world around us is filled with uncertainties. Economies collapse, health declines, people betray, loved ones leave. These are realities we cannot escape. But faith is the shield that keeps you standing amidst all of it. Without faith, fear consumes. With faith, fear becomes fuel for resilience. Without faith, uncertainty breaks you. With faith, uncertainty becomes a reminder to trust in the one who is certain. Without faith, storms crush you. With faith, storms cleanse you and lift you closer to Allah. Do not let your fears silence your dua. In fact, let fear push you to pray more. Fear of failure, fear of loss, fear of weakness. Turn all of it into whispers to Allah. Let every fear be a reason to call upon Him, to surrender your heart into His care. You will find that each dua releases the grip of fear and replaces it with a quiet strength that cannot be explained. That is the miracle of faith. It transforms what was once unbearable into a means of closeness to Allah. Faith does not mean you will never feel afraid. Even the prophets felt fear, but what made them strong was not the absence of fear. It was their trust in Allah despite the fear. So when fear rises in your heart, do not see it as a weakness. See it as an invitation to place your trust even deeper in Allah. Each time you do, your heart grows stronger, your faith grows firmer, and your soul becomes more at peace. So trust His plan. Trust that He sees what you cannot. Trust that He knows what you do not. Trust that His wisdom is guiding you, even when life feels like chaos. And when you do, you will feel the strength that only faith can bring. You will walk into storms with courage, you will face trials with patience, and you will find peace in the very places where fear once ruled your heart. Faith turns fear into strength, and with Allah by your side, you will always rise above. Your healing is already on its way. Do not despair, for despair only blinds the heart to the mercy that is closer than you realize. The pain you feel today, as heavy and unbearable as it may seem, is not without purpose. It is not the end of your story, but rather a chapter that will one day become your testimony. Allah, in His infinite wisdom, allows moments of hardship to touch us, not to break us, but to raise us, to purify us, and to bring us back to Him in ways comfort and ease never could. The very wounds that ache in your heart today will be the proof tomorrow of how Allah carried you, healed you, and never once left you alone. Pain has a way of convincing us that we are abandoned, that perhaps we are forgotten, or that maybe the light will never return. But Allah reminds us over and over in His book that He is with the broken-hearted, that He is near to those who call upon Him, that His mercy descends most upon those who are in distress. He tells us, indeed, with hardship comes ease. Notice He did not say after hardship, but with it. This means even in the depth of your struggle, the seed of your healing has already been planted. Even while you cry, relief is unfolding. Even when your heart feels shattered, Allah is already preparing the pieces to be restored in a way more beautiful than before. Think of Yusuf, thrown into a well by his own brothers, abandoned and betrayed in his youth. Imagine the loneliness, the fear, the pain of rejection he must have felt in that darkness. Yet that very well, which seemed like the end of his story, was in fact the beginning of his journey to honor, to power, and to forgiveness. Allah was healing him through the very trials that wounded him. The betrayal of his brothers, the false accusations, the prison, all of it was the road toward elevation. What seemed like destruction was actually construction. And that is how Allah works with His servants. The pain you feel today is shaping you, preparing you, and leading you to a tomorrow where you will say, Alhamdulillah for every tear, for through it Allah lifted me. There are moments when the wound feels fresh, when the heart bleeds and no words can ease it. But remember, the one who created your heart is the same one who heals it. The one who allowed the test is the same one who will bring you out of it stronger. Sometimes Allah removes people, closes doors, or places obstacles not because He wishes to hurt you, but because He knows what you cannot see. He knows that your healing, your growth, your strength lies beyond this moment of pain. So while you see loss, He sees protection. While you see endings, He is preparing new beginnings. Do not measure healing by how quickly the pain disappears. True healing is not just the absence of pain, but the transformation of the heart through it. Healing is when you realize that your tears drew you closer to Allah. Healing is when you recognize that your weakness became the doorway to His strength. Healing is when you see that the very pain which once made you doubt is now the reason your faith is unshakable. That is the kind of healing Allah promises. Healing that leaves you better, softer, stronger, and closer to Him than before. Your healing may not come in the way you expect. Sometimes it is not the situation that changes, but your heart that is lifted. Sometimes Allah does not remove the storm, but He grants you a shelter within it. And sometimes He lets the storm rage until you realize that the only place of safety was with Him all along. In every case, healing is already moving toward you, carried by the mercy of Allah, unfolding in ways you may not yet recognize. The Prophet endured trials that would have crushed any other soul. He buried loved ones, faced betrayal, endured hunger, and yet his heart remained firm, his faith unwavering. Why? Because he knew that every trial carried within it Allah's nearness. He taught us that when you turn to Allah in hardship, your dua is never wasted, your tears are never unnoticed, and your pain is never in vain. Healing is promised for the one who remains patient, who trusts, and who continues to walk even when the road feels endless. When you feel that your heart can no longer carry the weight, remember that Allah is Al-Latif, the most gentle. His healing comes in ways so subtle that you may not see it until later. When you look back and realize that the pain which once consumed you has become distant, softened, replaced by peace, you may not notice the moment your heart begins to mend, but slowly, day by day, the mercy of Allah seeps into your wounds, and before you know it, the burden feels lighter, your steps become steadier, and your soul begins to breathe again. So do not despair. Despair is the whisper of Shaitan, trying to convince you that your pain has no purpose. But Allah has already written your healing. It is on its way, as certain as the dawn after the darkest night. Your task is only to hold on, to trust, and to keep your heart turned toward the one who heals all wounds. One day, you will look back at this pain, and it will not break you. It will strengthen you. You will tell the story of how Allah carried you through nights of tears, how He lifted you from places you thought you would never escape, how He placed light into the very darkness that once consumed you. That story will be your testimony, your reminder, your proof that Allah never abandons His servants. Your healing is already on its way, carried by the mercy of the one who loves you more than you can ever imagine. May Allah bless you, keep you steadfast, and fill your life with peace and light. Until we meet again, remember that with every hardship comes ease, and Allah's mercy is closer than your breath. Wa assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.